Lunchbox is brought to you by Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival, now with events throughout the year.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo, and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim sauce with the awesome bay, with shafafa on the side.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox, coming to you live today from a first-time venue. It is MISO Japanese Tapas in the Progresso neighborhood, the hip, happening, trendy Progresso. Is it Progresso Village? Just Progresso?
It's all over the place. You got Flagler Village, you got Fat Village.
Flagler is that way. That's
Flagler's
where our
that
man
way.
Reno is over across the tracks. You're on the right side of the
I'm on
tracks.
the right side of the tracks. I was on the left side with my pokey spot. Now I moved to the right side.
That's right. You okay? Well, we're with Tuan. I don't know what you go by last name because I see different
So that's a funny story.
aliases on the on the Facebook, and then you have your IG account. But I just know him as Tuan. Long time, talented chef, restaurateur, and MISO Japanese Tapas. Coming up on your first anniversary. Is that right?
Next month is gonna be our 1 year. Time flies.
wow.
Time really does
amazing.
fly. Meanwhile, we've been flying around town, going to all these great restaurants, and we're going to be at Reno and Heritage on Thursday. I think we're eating too much, Lubie, because I don't know. I think it's time we got to wash these windsocks. I smell like garlic on it from yesterday's feast. I don't know if that was me being sloppy or you, but we're in store for more delicious treats. It's again, as the name implies, Japanese tapas, small plates, also known as, I guess, izakaya, but I guess you went with a more Americanized name, right?
More of Americanized names, easier, to say and everything. So, it all depends. So, it's just people are more familiar with that.
Yeah.
So
I'm a kind of an asshole because I always said that to me, I think like I get a great vibe when, and I've been in here a bunch of times over the last year, particularly on the weekends. It's just really happening. A lot of, younger crowd, the I guess the 20 somethings. And it just has that feel of like a bistro. So I always said the name, I call it MISO Bistro because it just like has that kind of
maybe
small
we'll change
plates
that name
vibe.
to it.
Well,
No.
it might be too late in the
I
game.
like the name.
But I love the food here. Again, the concept is small plates, some shareables, a lot of good sushi. What were you aiming for, when you were conceiving this place?
So when I go out to eat, especially like, for example, like Reno and I, we on a Sunday, sometimes we'll just sneak out of the restaurant. We'll go to a couple new restaurants, but we like to just share everything. So him and I just like give us the whole front, all the
Right.
appetizer.
That's kind of like how I do it.
Yeah.
Just give me
all
the whole left side of the menu.
You give it us, explain to us what it comes out. We'll maybe order one entree, some cocktails. And, so I like to have a variety of different things when I eat.
Yep.
I don't like to just eat like one thing and just get, full
Right,
off
you
of that.
get bored if it's just one big dish of
Yeah.
something. Right.
So-
So that's cool. And so that was kind of, you wanted to
Kind of
develop a
wanted to
menu.
develop something like that where my chef Jay and I went in on. It's like, hey, let's just do a bunch of small plates because he's the same way. We just love to just eat a bunch of other things.
Now, before we get into kind of what's happening here and what's new and noteworthy, lunch service, you're going to have some omakase options for dinner coming soon. But let's press the rewind button and just give us your background, how long you've been in South Florida, your journey, what got you into cooking. So I guess just give us a little bit of, a 1-minute biography resume of your past.
So I'm originally from California.
Oh, wow.
So West Coast, down by the LA, but so Riverside is a small
Mhm.
town, but I don't think everybody really know what Riverside is unless you've been to California. Moved out here to Florida at the age of 22. My uncle had a little small Japanese restaurant, and I was like, all right, let me just try this out, see if I liked it. Tried it. It was like, oh, this is pretty cool. I like this. It's fast paced. I'm not sitting in a desk and just doing work all day. And I like to just be on the move and just like to meet other people and everything. So I tried that, and he was like, okay, I like this. Called my mom. I guess I'm not going back home. And she was like, "What?" She's like, "I thought you were just gonna go there for the summer." I go, "Well, I guess the summer is becoming
Endless.
This might be my new
Endless
home."
summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So started working with him, and learned a little bit from my uncle, this and that. And then after that, I was like, "All right, let me just go finish college." So went that, did that, got
What's your family background? Where were they? I guess they grow up also in California. Were they from
they grew up
Asia?
we're from Vietnam.
Vietnam. Okay.
Came to America in 1986, 85,
Okay.
85, 86. Came here, but came here the hard way. Didn't just jump on a plane and just flew straight here. We had to do the refugee camp and everything.
Okay.
So it was very.
It was a journey. Okay.
Like I say, my mom is probably my superhero. For a lady at her age, that time she was like 27, 26, 27. Took 3 kids.
Oh, wow.
And her younger brother from Vietnam across the world, through the ocean, through the jungle, everything.
Oh my
You
God.
rode boats? I mean,
We
you
rode
had
boats and trains and slept in the jungle. Mike,
Really?
Oh my God.
this is
Yeah.
a backstory.
Wow.
This is
So when everybody asks me, who's your hero, Twan? I'm like, my mom.
Wow.
That lady is,
She's my hero.
yeah,
not gonna
for her
lie.
to do something like that for
So
just to
she
bring
was
3
just
kids.
striving for a better world, better life, better chances.
better chance, better life
She
for
wasn't
us.
going to be stopped.
So,
So
yeah.
it feels like, jeez.
Can she
So-
cook?
She can cook.
Yeah.
But she can cook. So my mom used to do all the cooking. And then, she, after a few years and that, she's got a job. She started working, the typical Asian, they're doing nails and that.
Yep.
So, and then after that, so she's like, hey, I don't have time to cook. So my dad's like, I'll do the cooking. But once my dad took over the cooking, man, game over. That man was talented.
Really?
Huh.
Yeah. So my
That's
dad,
amazing.
and then I started going in the kitchen with my dad. And that's the only time my dad and I, we never even speak.
Okay. But
Like
that was
hi
a
bye
bonding.
unless we need it. But then when it came to cooking, he was like, hey, let me show you how to do this in the future so you know how to make all this stuff. So
Wow,
just
that's
going in the
amazing.
kitchen with them, learning that. And ever since then, my dad started doing the cooking. And once in a while, my mom would cook. And everybody's like, please, hang up the apron. Let dad do all
This
the
is
cooking
a
now.
rarity,
That's
Lubie.
interesting.
2 days in a row, we've
Yes.
had very obviously beloved mothers. We were up at Renzo's, a pizza Italian restaurant in Boca, and it was also an interesting story. Renzo, a Sicilian guy who got his start cutting hair. He was a barber and a hair salon operator, and his mother couldn't cook with her.
Sicilian mother.
Sicilian mother who couldn't cook, but he got turned on to restaurants by necessity. He made his way over to New York and had a chance to. Anyway, that's yesterday. Today we've got Twan and Dad again, cooking up a storm in the kitchen while Mom, the superhero, held everything together for the 3 kids, getting them over to the States.
Did your dad come with you? Or your dad?
No, my dad came first, and
dad
came first, and then we were like, once we got so we went through from Vietnam to Laos and then to Thailand, stayed at the refugee camp Thailand. But once we were in the Philippines, we just had to wait for the paperwork.
Do you have memories of that? How old are you?
I was about 4 years old, so I have kind of blurred memories, but I have a little bit of memories here and there.
Yeah, because this is all right. So it must be 10 years past the Vietnam War, but obviously Pol Pot,
but it was
doing
still,
his thing in Cambodia, and it was just a lot of upheaval.
it was still going
in
on.
Southeast Asia.
When we were in the refugee in Thailand, it was crazy that you can be sleeping or you can be playing during the daytime. Boom, a bomb just dropped.
Oh wow!
And you don't know if it was gonna hit you or not. And then when I was a kid, I was asking my mom, Mom, why are these people digging all these holes here?
Right.
And she's like, well, just in case something happens, they go
Bunkers.
into that hole and kind of hide.
God,
I was like,
man-made bunker.
oh,
Jeez.
yeah.
I can't imagine what it's
man.
like being 4 years old and having that kind of environment, but I'm just glad that you made it out safe and sound and made your way to America. And although I imagine in Riverside and Southern California, was there gang activity when you were growing up?
Oh,
or you,
dude, the gang activity was out of control over there. It was pretty bad, I mean, you had the Mexicans, you had the Asians, and you had us, you had the Chinese,
African Americans,
the
Crips, Bloods,
the Crips, the Bloods.
Oh, that.
And
okay, so that's
growing up in
Riverside.
that time over there, it was pretty bad. You could not walk if you walked around with the wrong colors on.
That was
So it was that time where if you had blue or red. in the
blue or
wrong
red. If
neighborhood-
you had a red handkerchief in your back pocket, you walking around. Oh,
so you've been through some
Jeez.
stuff. That's incredible.
Wow.
All right, so now we get into you find your spot in your I guess the restaurant. It was your uncle's restaurant.
My uncle's restaurant.
And how did you end up in South Florida? What had that transpire?
It was just like, I had to just leave California too. It was like, like I said, all the gang and all that stuff. And I was like, oh, if I keep staying here, I might go down the wrong road or whatever. So I was like, just to me, I wanted to make a name just because of what my mom did and how she brought me here. I was like, I didn't want to be one of those guys like just came here in a waste of her time and effort to try to bring me to another place that's make a better place for me. Yeah. So I'm like, you know what, let's do something.
So what year was that? And why did you choose South Florida as
I just chose South Florida because my uncle was here.
So
so that way I had somewhere to stay and it was like somewhere to stay and softer landing kind of type of deal. And and I just kind of fell in love with South Florida.
Nice.
Besides the summertime.
Yeah. Summer is here, but that's okay. The air conditioning.
I mean, listen, I was taking like 4 or 5 showers a day. Every time I left the house, it's like humid. I was like, oh, because I didn't grow up in Vietnam because Vietnam has the weather similar to this, but a lot hotter.
No, it's hot. It's hot in like Thailand over there.
But in California, we're dry, so it's not. It's hot, but it's dry. But I came here, I'm just
it's like sitting in a sauna, steam bath all day. That's but they say you get used to it, but it's not true. You never get used to it.
41 years.
It's brutal. So okay, and then what happened? Were you involved in the nightclub game at Hard Rock?
At one point. So
okay,
I fell in love.
I'm like, I know him.
Yeah, I've known
you.
You
security?
Not security. I was a bartender.
You were a bartender.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm like, I know him.
Yeah, you used to come to the bar all the time.
I was like, I know him.
Did he have more hair?
Yeah, he had
more hair. But I used to do promotions a lot, and I also did music and stuff. I was like, I know him.
Yeah, we did. We were living room.
Living room.
Yes.
Look at this small
You
world.
probably don't recognize me.
No,
I used to
bartend.
I bartended with my shirt off. So
yes,
if I took off my shirt, you might recognize me.
No, I remember you. Yeah,
wow,
I was like,
we're going
why do I
back
know
a ways,
him?
probably what, 10, 15 years ago at least?
Oh, yeah, for sure. My buddy Mac with Y100 would do Saturdays, and I was his producer. So I would go out, and we would have the time of our life. And he was like center bar. He was like the main bartender. And this spot, living room, downtown Fort Lauderdale Riverfront, was like the spot, like 2000, late 2000s. Like it was like the place, like for a few years. Like I was like, how do we know?
There we go. Well, that's it.
Classic. So how do you go from that?
So basically I did I went and I got jobs at like other restaurants, Japanese restaurants, like some Miami high-end, like Nobu and all that. And basically walked in there because I didn't want to go to culinary school because I wanted to learn more about Japanese food.
Right.
And
you want to do it by doing it, by
hands-on.
Yep.
And, just going into this restaurant, working as a prep boy, learning from these guys. And, it was very difficult because some of these chefs, I don't have time to teach you and I don't want to teach you.
Right.
Who are you for me to teach? So, so some of them saw how hard of a worker I was. And they're like, okay, you know what? You really are taking it serious. So so they started teaching me and I started learning a few things of what I could learn out of that place. I would, after that, maybe 2 years later, jump ship, go to another restaurant, try to learn more. So as much as I learned all that, and then became a general manager to know the front of the house, how to do everything else, the paperwork and all that, the inventory, doing all that whole 9 yards. So after I was all done with all that, I was like, all right, what else do I need to know about a restaurant before I even launch and learn how to open my own restaurant? So I said liquor. So a lot of restaurants have drinks and all that. I'm like, I don't know how to make a cocktail,
Oh, so that's why you went to them.
So then living room was getting ready to open up, and I walked in there. Actually, no, I started off at China White first.
Okay, China White.
Okay. It was a buddy of mine that was working there. And he was like, hey, do you know how to bartend? I said, I absolutely do not know how to bartend. And he was like, you know how to make a Jack and Coke? I go, I guess, Jack, and just put some Coke in there and call it a day. He was like, all right. He's like, do you know what a well is? I go, yeah, the little couple bottles that you have in the bottom there. He goes, okay. So he's like, all right, I'll hire you. Yeah. So he hired me, threw me in there, and it was a gay bar. Had a great time.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's when the shirt came off.
That's when the shirt came off after midnight. It was like, okay,
there's anything wrong with that,
make that money.
So but sometimes I get some clients that come in here, they're like, hey, I know you from somewhere. I go, let me take off my shirt. Like, oh my God, you're that bartender. I go, yes, that's me. So That's why I don't know what it is.
I
It's just
remember
how I
your
started
face.
that.
You don't have to do that.
You sure? No. But yeah, so I wanted to learn more about nightclubs. I wanted to learn more about
Yeah.
drinks and all that stuff. So I
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
all right, best way to do it and get paid at the same time,
Right.
was to become a bartender.
It's
That's
better
smart.
than paying a lot of money for some culinary school
Yeah,
or
yeah.
mixology class.
Mixology.
Mixology
Learn
class.
by
and teaching
doing.
that. Learn
Yeah.
by doing it. I'm the kind of person that's hands-on. I'd rather learn from somebody, and better than just sitting in the class and just reading books and reading whatever they teach you.
And
in
you
there.
learn real
So-
life experiences and people reading people. How
Yes.
I was
to
gonna say
deal
because
with.
Fridays and Saturday nights at living room would get hectic, so you learn how to handle stress and move on the fly. Because I don't remember
Yeah.
you ever getting flustered. It
No.
wouldn't matter, like because a lot of bartenders will get frustrated. I remember you just
I
steadying the
was
pace,
just-
which is huge. You know,
Yeah.
that's big, especially in the restaurant game.
Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
yeah, so to learn all that.
So, but then comes you get. I guess you were one of the co-founders of what's become kind of a regional, dynasty in terms of sushi. It's Fat Boy Sushi, right? And how
Yeah,
did
so
that all
that
come
was
about?
the first one I launched after knowing all the bartending stuff, and then Griffin shut down and all that. That's why my last name on Facebook says Twan Griffin.
right?
That place was such a great place, and everybody loved it. So at that time, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep the name as it is.
Yep.
So that's where the name
They'll
Twan
remember you.
Griffin came by.
Right.
But yeah, so I launched Fat Boy, and that was the first restaurant. And
Was the original one was the one south of the tunnel? Is it or was
the
there
original one
was
was
it north?
north, like commercial and
Okay.
US one.
Okay,
It's like
right.
there was a Radio Shack next to there.
Okay.
The last Radio Shack standing in probably God knows the whole United States, maybe.
Next to the last Blockbuster. Too.
Yeah.
It was the Radio Shack.
So-
Blockbuster.
So yeah, we launched that, and then
It took off, yeah.
after like 6 months to a year, something like that, it took off, and everybody loved it.
Yeah, that place blew up.
Then we launched the second one, was south of the tunnel.
Right, that's the one. For some reason, I got it wrong the other day. I was talking to somebody. Yeah, so the second one, south of the tunnel, which is near me, and I loved
Yeah.
it because it was open late, and it was one of those.
Well, we're out
things-
west, and there's one by us. In Cold
Yeah.
Springs,
Well,
so-
now they're everywhere, but
Yeah.
but you kind of went in a different path. What prompted that? It was just time.
It was just time, like the family came, really good people and everything. Gave me a nice, offer and said this and that, and I was like, hey, you know what, maybe it's time. Then kind of like I was thinking about maybe putting the apron up or this and that. I didn't really know where I was going because I was in South Florida still, but then I've also wanted to be home. Was getting homesick because my dad passed away,
Oh, sorry to hear.
and my mom was alone. So I was like, you know what,
She's still in California.
She's still in California.
Yeah.
And I was thinking maybe it's an opportunity. It's a blessing in the sky, or, this is what God has given me, the path has given me. So sold it and took a year off and kind of took my mom around
nice.
Asia.
Nice.
And,
Oh, good. Spending time,
That's
quality
so
time with
great.
her. I just lost my mom earlier this year, but she lived with me for her final 2 years. She was 91, and
Yeah.
I would not trade that for anything. It
Yeah.
was great to be able to spend time with.
And, yes, 'cause,
Parents.
my parents are getting older, and, it's like I want to try to spend as much time as I can with them and just go from there. And then came back after that, was like, all right, what do I want to do? Kind of sat there, brainstormed for a little bit.
Start all over again.
Then I said, you know what? And
Poke
everybody was
place?
like, yeah.
Yeah.
So I did a poke place. We did that. And then second year hit, pandemic hit. And I was like, shit, what am I going to do? I was like, what am I going to do? So I'm like, but we survived through it and good. And poke,
How did you find this spot? Because this is like a brand new building, right? And they just built all this, or they converted it from
So
something
this was
else?
a warehouse before.
Okay.
This was a
And
warehouse.
let me just tell people where we are again. It's 815 Northeast 2nd Avenue. It's kind of wedged right against the railroad tracks where, those cut throughs when you go down from between Sunrise into downtown Fort Lauderdale, and there's 3rd Avenue and 2nd Avenue. Anyway, if you just GPS it, and it's on one of these side streets, but it's gleaming. It's got one of these like
Yeah, it's
roll
nice.
down garage
Really cool.
doors the opposite way. Very, very, modern, hip feel in here. I love the design, and you got some artwork from a local artist too, right?
Yeah, it's one of our friends, Brian. He does this is like the oil painting. He did a really good job. Hung them up here. They are for sale, guys. If you ever want to purchase, you can contact him. But yeah, so I know the landlord of this place, and he was like, Twan, I got a great space for you for a sushi restaurant if you want to do it.
Oh,
I looked at the space, I looked at the area, I was like, done. Fell in love with it. Came in here with 4 walls and dirt on the floor.
Oh wow!
There was
so you were from the build out.
yeah, we
Yeah.
built it out from ground all the way up.
But isn't
and,
it cool in here?
No,
Like,
the
it's-
vibe is amazing. Like
Yeah.
my wife will love this place. She loves sushi and she loves tapas. So like that's the combination of worlds. But the vibe is fantastic.
No, you walk in and you feel like, for me, I feel 30 years younger. So
Yeah.
There
No,
you go.
we wanted to do something different in Fort Lauderdale. You know, we wanted to like just bring it up a notch and give something nice and like it's kind of hidden. Like you're driving out here, you're like, oh, a bunch of warehouse. Like, what is this? And all of a sudden you walk in, it's like, boom, you get this beautiful place, and it's like, okay, I like it. And it's a different feel. It doesn't feel like you're in Fort Lauderdale.
no, it doesn't. And I'm trying to peg what it feels like. It's like, some, I don't know. I haven't been to Asheville in a while, but Nashville, maybe like Nashville,
Yeah.
or even like if you go into like a Japanese izakaya place in Charleston, South Carolina, or something. Again, it has a feel
Hip,
that's
but not like hipster. Like
Yeah.
it has. I don't know. The vibe
not
is really cool.
pretentious at all. It feels very comfortable in here. And yeah, you guys have been rocking it for, I can't believe, almost a full year.
Yeah.
And you had a good season?
We had a great season. A lot of people came support. A lot of the locals came support. We did that pop up with
With what's his name? Reno, that
Reno,
guy.
yeah, with Reno. That
They
that
came
guy.
over here.
and
That was a
Nice.
fun night. That was a lot of fun.
yeah, that night was fun. After,
Alcohol
like,
was
I think-
consumed, Lubie.
yeah,
I
after-
presume if Reno Antoine or well.
I think after the fifth course, I was like, Reno, you gotta slow down. And he was like, Twan, I'm trying to, but these guys keep feeding us drinks. They want us to like they want us to party instead of work. I'm like, but we gotta get these dishes out. And he's like, I got it. He's like, you do the drinking, I'll plate it. And I'm like, can we switch it? He goes, no, you're an alcoholic. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Some very
So, yeah.
inventive mashups that
But, yeah.
evening too, though. I mean, the marriage of the some of the Japanese.
It was fun.
and
It
the
was fun. It was
Italian.
definitely a great event. Instead of like him creating like 3 dishes and we created 3 dishes, we kind of put our brains together
It's
and
amazing.
came
putting-
up with
like using his ingredients, Italian ingredients and Japanese ingredients. Like, hey, let's make something out of these ingredients and let's make it badass. Let's do it. So
some really, really good stuff. Well, okay, so you did that, and that again in conjunction with our friends at the Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival, Phil and Kate, and again they're doing a great job creating now a year-round program of stuff. And this month is 954 Burger Month. I don't think you have a burger on the menu, but one of the nice things here is for people who don't like sushi, you don't or are not into the raw fish, you have all these creative
we
cooked
got all these
items.
creative cook items. We do a lot of pork bellies here. We do, for example, our crab rangoon. Instead of doing it with imitation crab, we use a snow crab.
Ooh.
And instead of using like the wonton shells, we stuffed it in a squash blossom.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
And we
interesting.
tempura that, and my chef Jay is really good, and he comes up with his sauce, a sweet and
Oh
spicy
my God, that
sauce
sounds
on
freaking
there.
amazing.
I was like, oh, that was one of our top sellers. Like people were coming in like, oh, this is different.
Yeah.
We couldn't keep those in
Nice.
order. Every time the people come in
Nice.
like, oh, sorry, sold out.
Are you
Oh,
still
wow.
doing those small plates of the A5 Wagyu beef? And
Yes.
yeah, because I remember we talked about it at the beginning. I was like, how can you, sell this so cheaply? And you said, well, I'm not making much or any profit on this, but you just want to give people a taste of the experience of luxury. You get them in the door, have a little bit of maybe a lost leader, and then they'll
so-
try everything, right?
Yeah, so I did a Japanese A5 from Japan. It's crazy when I ordered it. It comes with a birth certificate of the cow too. And I'm like, wow, these cows like, they live a short life, but they live a
jeez.
really,
Good
really good
life.
life. Their short life is like what we live in, like maybe our whole life. They're getting massage every day. They're getting feed
Massages.
sake and
Really?
I mean, they're getting massage like 3 times a day.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about just one person, like the whole gang comes and just chopping away. I'm like,
Just
whoa,
to make
what's
sure
going
I
on?
meet
This brings up an
cookies.
existential question. Would you have that kind of life if you only lived to, let's say, 50?
Listen, I mean,
Or would you live to a ripe old age of 90 and maybe not get pampered so much?
I mean, listen, it's kind of a give and take, but like, I mean, that life sounds great.
It's a ridiculous
But,
hypothetical,
yeah,
which is what I
it is.
specialize in. So, look, the bottom line is, look, it's a culture there. That's how they raise that beef.
Yeah.
All kind of moral conundrums aside, they freaking taste delicious. I mean,
Oh,
it
they'll
is.
taste-
It's
so good.
the fat content. You can't have too much of it. It's like so rich.
It's so rich, yeah.
And that's
so
why-
that's why we do
yeah.
just a 4 ounce.
Yeah.
It's enough 4
Oh,
ounce.
okay.
And you
That's
can
still a
split
nice
it with
amount,
2
though.
people,
That's
and
a
then
nice
you get,
amount.
you just have a couple of slices of that, and it's
Yeah, yeah.
very, very satisfying. It's-
I
so
mean-
that's still on the menu.
That's still on the menu. We don't charge an arm and a leg like other people are doing, because like I said,
There's places in Miami now that are charging like $60 an ounce for it. or something like
60 to $80 an ounce, and minimum of like 3 ounces.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, what? That's pretty crazy to pay something like that. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yeah.
I mean, yes, it's delicious and everything, but at the same time, I wanted to give it to people just like, hey, just to say they say that I had tried Japanese A5 Wagyu.
Yeah.
I literally make $2 off that whole dish.
Right.
Wow.
If anything.
But I think it's
So-
a very generous, and again, it sets a mood and a
I was
theme.
gonna say a tone.
Yeah, it sets a tone of like, this is a guy that wants you to experiment, try something maybe
And
you
then you're
haven't
going to do it.
tried, have a luxury item at a more affordable rate, and then they're more prone to try things like maybe the uni. Do you still have the uni pasta
Oh,
dish?
that's coming out for you today.
Oh, he
Oh.
loves. I was gonna look at his face.
I knew,
he
like,
loves uni.
I called the company and I was like, because I usually get I usually get my uni delivered like maybe Wednesday, Thursday. It all depends. Right now, of course, Japan right now is off season. So I was like, listen, I need it by Tuesday. And they're like, what's so important, Twan? I go, just trust me, I need it by Tuesday. And they're like, all right, we'll figure it out. And then she called me. She's like, Twan, I can't. So I called another distributor. I'm like, hey,
Oh, my God.
man.
anyway, you get me uni by Tuesday. And he goes, Twan, I got you. It's
As-
coming
Oh
in.
my
As our absent
So-
ailing co-host
Can
Jeff
we give you so
DeForest
much crap
says,
for
"Is it
this?
fear or respect, Lubie?" But
I feel like that's
I
a
think
lot of
it's
fear.
respect. I think it's respect. Well, you know how I love that dish,
Yeah.
and it's one of those things that I've seen in Japan. I see it very rarely on menus around South Florida. And if you've never had it, I mean, for those who are uni lovers, if you have it in a roll, when you toss it with that pasta and some of the akura, how do you do it here? It's
So basically, we use an angel hair pasta. We just cook it down a little bit, add just a little tiny butter, a little salt on it, and then saute, let it cool down a little bit. Then we add the ikura and the uni, and then we do the truffles, like
yeah,
soaked
the
in
truffles.
olive oil.
That's the finishing touch here. Oh,
And it's crazy is that like the people that don't like uni or don't like ikura, I would tell them like,
But
give
they
this-
tried it because a lot of
give
times
this a
people will
try.
say they don't like it because uni. What's an
Yeah.
uni? And I'm one of those people. But
sometimes
like
it's a
once you
little
try these
funky, but
things-
when you toss it with these other ingredients, it's just a luscious umami. And by the way, folks, it's the world's best aphrodisiac. Not that.
that's good to know.
but yeah, so
Lucky
people-
Val.
No, so people like they try it and they love it. They're like, oh my god, I've not thought I would never eat uni again, or I thought I've never liked it, but this actually makes it very well.
Oh man.
So like
I'm
I'm
excited.
not a
You're
big
making
fan.
me
I don't
excited.
like ikura. I can eat it, but
Okay.
I wouldn't order it. If it's on there, I'll eat it. But when I put it with that dish, dude, I'll eat a whole bowl.
Oh man.
I wouldn't even
Nice.
Well,
care.
enough yapping. Well, okay, two more things before we'll take our first break, and then we'll get down to actually eating some of the great products here at MISO Japanese Tapas, aka MISO Bistro.
He always calls it that, even though your
Number
name's
two,
Okay. New lunch service. We're sitting here. You guys are in service now. You're open.
Yes.
What? Tell me about. It's just been a couple of weeks.
So this is our third week opening lunch. I wanted to open dinner first, and then get that situated with all my staff. I didn't want to overwhelm them with lunch and dinner, so we did that. Now we're lunch. Obviously, I have a lot of people that wants our poke bowls from Poke Lolo, so we added some items from there. Our tuna tacos from there are fire, by the way.
Mhm.
So we did the poke bowls. So now we're open Tuesday through Friday from 11:30 to 3 for lunch. Then we take a little break. I just put up a little pillow chair and let's take a nap over here. And then we open for dinner service at 5.
Okay, so that 3 to 5 gap, it's kind of like old school dining where
Yep.
there are places that have set lunch hours and then dinner hours. So you gotta, get here during the typical lunch rush. You are on Uber Eats and some of the other platforms for
Yes,
office workers.
We
that
are
wanna
yes,
order?
we are on Uber Eats right now. Still trying to get all that situated. Put our lunch menus up there, our dinner menus coming on there. But I didn't realize how difficult it is to set stuff up on Uber Eats. Back then it was like call
Okay.
them, send them the menu, they come take photos, and we're set.
Now you got to jack up the prices for
Yeah,
them
now you
because
gotta
they're
jack the
taking
price
their
like
30%.
30%.
Yep.
They're like-
Again, people have to be willing to pay for the convenience
Yeah.
of the third-party apps because otherwise you guys couldn't make it because they're taking your whole profit margin. But that's a story we also talked about a little bit yesterday. But again, best thing to do
coming in.
is come in here and eat. Have people been finding their way? It's always kind of now it's the season is kind of wound down. It's now summertime, but hopefully you'll get the word out. People come in
Yeah,
here.
hopefully we
'cause-
get the words out. Everybody's spreading the words. All the dinner people are coming in. That we're telling them, hey, we're now for lunch and everything. It's crazy how everybody's like, oh, you should open for lunch. You should open for lunch. And then we do open for lunch, and then like, okay, a handful of people.
But
show
again,
up,
like
then it's,
anything, it takes a little time to
Takes time to
grow.
Yes.
And hello, people. We're out on
We're
the
here.
150, almost 153,000 member
Nice.
Let's Eat South Florida group simulcasting every day. So you've been told they are now open for lunch here at MISO Japanese Tapas. And if you're into, again, perfect light summer fare, have some sushi, have a nice poke bowl. It's light, it's bright, it's got vegetables, it's got protein. It's not going to weigh you down. And his product here, quality stuff. Him and Jay, and you have the third chef now. As
I have a third chef. There's Amelia.
Amelia.
She's really awesome, very young, hungry, talented, and she was at a sushi, a different place before. She was like, "Hey, listen, I'm not really learning anything." I'm like, "Come down. I'll take you under my wing. I'll teach you whatever
Nice.
I can."
Dude, that's
And she's very
It's all
very
good.
talented.
So have
She's
you learned
pushing it.
from your experience where maybe you're still tough on people, because I've heard the workforce can be interesting these days, but if someone does want it like you did, and there were those chefs, even the ones that were pieces of work, that when they saw that you were willing to work,
Yeah.
they took you seriously? Is that like, are you here to impart what you've learned?
Yes, pretty much. I'm here to do the same thing. I want to teach you that, like, okay, this is what I want to do. I love it. I enjoy it. And, I enjoy using Japanese products and all that stuff. So I want to teach them whatever I can. And then down the road, they take whatever I teach them. That's what I did, and do it their way, So basically, I took all the stuff I've learned and, it kind of molded and did it my kind of style, my way, a little bit different,
So you give people a
So-
little leeway if they want to
Yeah.
experiment,
Oh, nice.
try
So-
something, hit you up with a dish, you'll taste it and all that. It seems like a place that encourages
Open-mindedness,
creativity and
creativity, originality.
not like some of these corporate places where once it becomes a cookie cutter and you can't deviate from the recipe and blah blah blah.
It's like this. Yeah. So we love to run specials all the time. So,
It's all good. Hey, we've been chatting for a while. It's time to take our first break. And first, before we take the break, we'll just give a kind word of our friends at Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. We're going to be there tomorrow for our monthly visit. I cannot wait because it's going to be talking all about the summer and grill season is upon us. Memorial Day weekend, a couple of weeks away. We've got the playoffs going on. So this weekend, if you want to invite some people over, have some home grill time or cook up some great fish, you can't do better than the products that they have at Delaware. It's been there for over 60 years. 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood. Again, we'll be there tomorrow from 1 to 2. You could shop 7 days a week. DelawareChicken.com is the website. And it's just fantastic. Of course, fresh fish from local waters. They got great. Now, stone crab season is over, but they still got all kinds of good delicacies like the Key West pink shrimp. They've got scallops from the Northeast, clams, all kinds of clams also from the Northeast waters. And if you want lobsters from the Northeast, you just have to give them a call because they can special order them and have them in within 12 hours if you want. And Delaware, we love it. Value, service, selection. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
This is Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. We're here at MISO. That is the name.
Sorry.
That is the name. Miso Bistro is a cool thing Mayo throws out there, but that is not the name. If you looked that up online, you will not go here, and you want to come here. So MISO Japanese Tapas.
I wonder if there is one MISO Japanese.
I'm sure there is a Miso Bistro, and they'll go there, and Mayo will send them to the wrong
There
place.
is no Miso Bistro
Okay.
in
South Florida. Well, it'll be
Okay.
here, and they'll steal Mayo Twan's thunder. So
Just kind of rolls off the tongue, me.
it's
I
a
like
nice
my-
name. You should have told him before you opened up the freaking place. It's Miso Japanese Tapas. It's been here almost a year, and we see why, and you'll see more as we get some taste, some bites from Twan. More Mike Mayo's Lunchbox after this.
Be one of the best restaurants in Broward, J&C Oyster in downtown Hollywood. At 2035 Harrison Street, this place is fantastic and worth a drive. It's got creative, cutting-edge seafood and more with an Asian twist and gorgeous cocktails. Chefs Raheem Seeley and Monica Dominguez cut their teeth at some of Miami's best restaurants. Don't miss some of these fantastic dishes, including grilled oysters, fried chicken, and the Thai red curry crab. Open Wednesday through Sunday for dinner with daily happy hour and outdoor seating. Go to jncoyster.com for reservations and information. Tell them Mike Mayo's Lunchbox sent you. Are you looking for a good New York style slice? How about lunch specials for under $9 that come with garlic rolls and a fountain drink? I'm talking about Stromboli Pizza Kitchen in the Fountains of Plantation, 801 South University Drive. Since 1987, it's been home to Brooklyn-style pies and slices, heroes and paninis, pastas, and all your Italian-American favorites. It's got the unpretentious vibe of the pizza places of my youth with daily specials, family dinners, outdoor seating, eat-in, carry-out, or delivery. Open 7 days a week. Go to strombolispizza.com to place your order today. Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
All right, we're back on the Lunchbox from MISO Japanese Tapas. I know the correct name. 815 Northeast 2nd Avenue, Fort Lauderdale. They're celebrating almost 1 year in service. And somebody else celebrating a big anniversary this month, their 5th anniversary.
That's so cool.
Our friend Hui over at Kaizen, who is, of course, tremendous supporter and sponsor of the Lunchbox. And what I didn't realize until Tuan just got up and started checking on the food is that Kui and Tuan know each other, and Kui was on the chat line. And again, congratulations on 5 great years at Kaizen. And first Kui ruined me like for any other sushi place, and now Tuan has come along, and again, more of some of the small inventive cook dishes between the two of them. Like, you don't have to go anywhere else.
No.
And it also is kind of cool the way that even though they're in the same realm. And also interesting, neither of them are of Japanese descent. Kui is from Cambodia, and Tuan is from Vietnam. They share the same last name, but it's cool because they're like lifting each other up. And Tuan was saying for the longest time he was just recommending Kaizen for anybody that was looking for a great sushi experience. And now downtown Fort Lauderdale, you could get one right here. And I think that speaks to, we're in the middle of celebrating Asian American Pacific Islander Month, so there is great pride, and I guess it's nice to see camaraderie between people in the Asian American community, those that are kind of supporting each other with new restaurants and ventures. We're talking about Hui, and he's on the chat line, and we love Kaizen, we love MISO, we love any place that does things right and has that good vibe and has quality and is willing to maybe not charge an arm and a leg
That's the thing.
and a hoof for A5 Wagyu so that people can get to experience it.
Honestly, but look, Kui's big on that. Is you get this really high level sushi, and you're not shocked by the prices. And that's from what you guys have told me about.
And that leads
MISO. That's the same thing.
Leads me into the next topic. Is you mentioned you're going to be launching some omakase service and options here Tell me about it. When and
So in the next couple of months, if you follow us on Instagram, you'll see it. Tickets will go on sale. My chef Jay and I are gonna do our omakase here. We're probably gonna try to keep it like very small, very intimate. So I don't want to do it every day and like everybody has it. So we're thinking about maybe once a month.
okay,
It'll be 2 seatings, it'll be 10 people at the sushi bar, and then it'll be another seating. Like I think we want to do the first one like 7:30, and then maybe 9:30 for the later crowd, for that younger crowd.
do it on weeknight on a Wednesday, Thursday.
I might do it on a Monday.
Okay,
So the Mondays were closed, so I wanted to shut the whole restaurant down.
just complete focus on a
Complete
special
focus
event.
on a special event.
I'm
you know.
in. I'll even pay.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if he invited you.
He just choked on his water there, but I was
And so I wanted to do something different, and also offer some like kitchen bites too. So it'd be like 14 bites, some kitchen stuff, some sushi stuff. But then also we want to give people the experience of like, we're gonna be filleting the fish right in front of them. So whatever we import from Japan in overnight, get there, I'll clean out all the guts and make it look nice and clean so people don't get grossed out, whatever.
Right.
But
yeah, not the
keep
full
the head.
You'll do some of it.
Yeah,
in the
I'll
back,
do some of
but
it in the back.
The
when it
pretty
comes
stuff,
out, the
final,
pretty stuff,
yeah.
the final stuff. Fillet it right there, cut it, make it sushi, give it to them, and
Nice.
can't beat that.
That's amazing.
And you're
So-
thinking of something along the lines of like 14 courses, but it's
about
like
14
small
courses,
bites,
small
composed-
bites,
Yep.
like about 2 bites each. So
And again, some of these omakase only places have been sprouting up. Sushi by Boo and the Sunset is the same chef that's up in Boca. Taki Omakase is in Delray and Boca. So it seems to be popular. It seems that there's a hunger for it.
Yeah.
And in downtown Fort Lauderdale,
I mean, it makes it nice and easy because you come in, you don't have to sit there stress out about ordering the menu or what your friend like or what they don't like. So that's why I do a tapas. Like, hey, we want to order a bunch of stuff. So if you don't like this, you can eat this. You can eat that.
Yep.
So
and the omakase, just again, it literally means handing yourself over to the chefs, and you trust the chefs. And then if you have an adventurous palate, you're going to get some delicious bites, and can't wait to follow that. What's your IG handle there? Is it at MISO Japanese?
MISO
Tapas?
Japanese Tapas.
Excellent.
_ FTL.
And again, follow that for the latest updates and info. You're going to be taking part in any other like special dinners coming up with the food festival.
We got Reno and I are helping some friends out. They're doing a little small, like little food and wine thing downtown. I think it's let me see the date. I think it's coming up next month, the 29th. I think we're doing it. But they want
nice.
Yeah, they wanted to do something just for the summer.
Yeah, go to the vlfoodwine.com website. It's not just the 1 week in January anymore. Year-round events and happenings. vlfoodwine.com. And of course, this month we've got the 954burgermonth.com website. It's in conjunction with Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Fest, and got a big event coming up tomorrow with our friend Seth. Burger Beast is going to be in Wilton Manors at the food truck store, which is not a food truck. It's actually a hamburger shop. Don't ask me why they came up with that name. I could rename that one too.
Yeah,
I'll
you
rename
should
all the
rename
restaurants in town. But Seth's going to be there, and they're unveiling their Pride Burger. I don't know what's on the Pride Burger, but with Seth being involved, I'm sure it's going to be delicious. And again, of course, this Sunday for 954 Burger Month is the big event, ticketed event online. Get your tickets, 954burgermonth.com at Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. Burger Beast unveiling the Broward debut of his Cruz Diablo burger, a smash burger with some fiery elements. And our friends Lenore and Richie and Beth over at Gilbert's are going to be featuring their Havarti bacon burger on garlic butter toasted English muffin. It's a delicious burger. There's going to be some other stuff there too. Tickets, $50. I don't even know if it's sold out yet. I should check, but I'm lazy. I didn't do it, but maybe go online, see if they have it. If not, 954 Burger Month. There's a whole heat map of places offering burgers.
Great, cool burgers.
Good stuff out there. So got that off the list for today.
Good job.
I guess we'll take another break now, and we'll get some of the food out here. We'll give them a chance to get again some of these new lunch offerings on the table. I've lost all track of space and time because wow, it's already late. Look at that. We've just been gabbing.
Oh.
You're a good guest. You know how to fill the
I'm
time.
talking. I'm
You're
just sitting there. I'm
shocked.
just listening, let's go.
But one last thing before we take another break is Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. That's a mouthful. It's in May. is it meaningful to you? I mean, hearing your story and what it took to get here, it's
I
just
think it's very meaningful. Like, now that everybody's starting to discover more of the Asian food, Asian cuisines, stuff like that, like Filipino food. Not a lot. You don't see a lot of Filipino restaurant, but when you do see it and you go there, please give it a try. Like these guys, they put their heart and soul into their food, and it's really, really good.
Yep.
Some of the stuff I've eaten, like for example, pho. Back in the days,
right.
nobody knew what pho was.
It's everywhere.
But now it's everywhere. Everyone's like, oh, the hangover cure, this and that. But I've been eating pho for like my whole life.
Pho's for breakfast, right? It's a breakfast food.
We eat it breakfast. We eat it for breakfast. We eat it for dinner. We eat it for lunch. We eat it for any time we want. But it's just one of those comforting bowl of food, a bowl of soup that you can't go wrong.
It's good.
Like
stuff.
in the Asian culture, in the Vietnam, there's a lot of noodle dishes, like a lot of soup dishes, and that it could be 110 degrees outside. We'll be still sitting there slurping away a bowl of
all those
pho.
ramen are
those
everywhere.
vermicelli pork dishes with the blood, like the some of those traditional Vietnamese dishes that are spicy, and I mean, I love them. You could give me everything and anything. And do you ever think that maybe you'll put some Vietnamese dishes on the menu?
I'm gonna come up with this. So this chicken wing we're trying to do is, I guess it's kind of going viral right now on Instagram. It's like a Vietnamese chicken wing with they're using like a fish sauce. So Jay and I are playing around with some ingredients. I'm like, all right, we got to make it different and let's make it a little spicy and let's go with this. See how it works out.
Nice.
So very good. All right, well. Let's take that break and then we'll come back and we'll do a little eating and more chatting here with Twan at MISO Japanese Tapas. Maybe we'll bring Jay out too and have a little chat with Chef Jay after these words on the Lunchbox.
You got it.
Best restaurants in South Florida? Casa D'Angelo is always at the top of my list. First class dining, top flight service, elegant atmosphere, and chef founder Angelo Ilia is legendary. The flagship in Fort Lauderdale has been serving the finest Italian cuisine since 1997, with other locations in Boca Raton and Aventura. As Angelo himself says, they have an unwavering commitment to unparalleled quality with meticulous attention to details. It's so good, with house-made pastas, pristine seafood, unique meats like elk chops and bison, and seasonal specialties including fragrant fresh truffles from Italy. All locations open 7 days for dinner. Reservations recommended. For a special occasion or any occasion, Casa D'Angelo. Tell them Mike Mayo sent you. If you're looking for an exquisite sushi experience, Kaizen Sushi Bar and Grill in Fort Lauderdale is the place to go. 5640 North Federal Highway, just north of Commercial Boulevard. Chef owner Hui Lam, he's a sushi savant, slicing and serving pristine fish and seafood flown in directly from Japan and around the world. Nigiri, sashimi, special rolls, and omakase dinners. He's ruined me from going anywhere else. It's that good. Open 7 days for dinner and also for lunch. Even if you're not a sushi fan, they have great cooked options, including steaks, chops, rice and noodles, and other Japanese dishes. It's fantastic. For reservations and information, go to kaizenflorida.com. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk, and soon in Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for a Sunday brunch, and Taco Tuesdays with their $4 premium tacos, including their new burrito tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. Tell them Mike Mayo the Lunchbox sent you. From a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar. A great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to BashSouthernKitchen.com. Hey, it's Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all. Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, and also now with a new location on Las Olas Boulevard. Those are my spots. Upscale food and a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and daily fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have daily happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. Back on the Lunchbox, we're at MISO Japanese Tapas. They're now open for lunch. People, you got to come in here. Check out some of these great lunch menu items that Tuan is going to be bringing out with Jay. They got poke bowls, they got noodle dishes, they got some light sushi bites. And now it is taking all my discipline and restraint in the world, Lubie, because he brought out some stuff that's featured on the dinner menu and some of their premium sushi cuts. Looks like we have a crispy tuna rice, and I was talking about this before. Oh my goodness, we've got the uni pasta, this beautiful little tangle of angel hair pasta with a dollop of fresh, creamy, funky uni. This is the Japanese stuff. This is the good stuff. This is sometimes hard to find and season. You know, there's sometimes Japanese, sometimes there's Santa Barbara, California, sometimes it's Canadian. Japanese, in my mind, always the best. And it's got some of the akura, the salmon roe on top, along with some fresh shaved truffles. I'm going to dive into this in a second, but not just yet, because I do want to talk about one thing, and it's an important thing for people. Again, if you're not one of the urban, dwellers in one of the apartment buildings nearby and Uber everywhere, for those who are going to be coming in by car, the parking situation could be a little bit confusing.
It's confusing in the sense that it's easier than I made it.
Okay. Do you want to explain that there are several parking options available on this block? How and what should people do? Let's say, because this place is worth a drive if you're going to be coming in from Plantation or Weston or whatever, spend the night in downtown Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, it's an experience.
Come on out here, and then you could hit some of the bars and nightclubs, nightlife down here.
Yeah, this area's great.
Well, yeah. So we have alongside parking over here in front of the restaurants, which is free.
Totally free.
Totally free.
That's weird because Fort Lauderdale, usually any on-street parking, there's charged like a city meters, but this one is this block. If you happen to get one of these parallel parking spots,
not on the railroad.
And if you are on the railroad, by the railroad tracks, we do validate the parking in there. So you go in there. So please don't pay for it. Just run in here, put in your license plate, validate it for 3 hours. These guys are pretty fast, but they give it a little leisure time on that.
Right. Lubie made the mistake of
I paid
prepaying
first because I didn't know. I'm like, I saw a thing pay to park. I'm like, okay, so I paid to park. And then the minute I walked in, Tom's like, yeah, we got you. Just validate. I'm like, okay, I think I'm a little late on that. So just don't run to pay. Come in.
And again,
and they'll validate you the minute you walk in.
I guess it's Progresso Drive. It's along the railroad tracks. Yes. There's all these spots there, and it has these little kind of what are they, QR codes, which for other people who are not coming to a restaurant will have to pay. But again, if you're coming to MISO Japanese Tapas, you just don't pay there. Come in here, enter your
license plate number, and you'll get the free 3 hours of parking.
Yep.
There's also another private lot toward the end of the block where I park sometimes, and I have downloaded that app. And again, you get, it's like paying at any other lot where you just kind of load it up for a couple hours, and for a fee, you get in here. But don't let the parking situation deter you, because that is a small thing on the scale of when you get glorious
it's worth
food
it
like
doing that.
this.
Well, yeah.
So,
I mean, with this area right now, what they're doing is they're trying to get everybody to just Uber here and making everything
Enjoy
walking
yourself.
distance,
Right.
enjoy yourself.
so you can drink a lot.
Yeah, so you can drink what you want. So and a lot more things coming down this way. So I could say I always go to Reno's place and have a drink.
I was gonna say,
afterwards, so,
as I've learned doing these shows, back in the day, I felt like restaurant tours were, worrisome when other places came in, and this generation of restaurateurs realizes we want other places because people aren't going to eat the same food every day anyways. So the idea is have them coming to my area more, and they'll find me.
yes,
You want more. You don't want a place that's dead. You don't want a place with 3 or 4. You want a place that's lively, that has a lot going on, because that'll give you a better chance of having more people come to you.
yeah. There's more things that come down. You just come in here, you can have sushi, and then you can go down the street, have a cocktail at over here or something like that. We want more bars, more things around here, and it gives people more option. Because you never know, you might come down here, another place might be busy. Like, okay, hey, they have another option over here, so let's go over there then. So I just think the more people come, the better it makes the community.
It's nice. Hey, I can't resist anymore. I'm picking up one of these crispy tunas. I might go into my ASMR mode and whisper and go for the crunch. Can you tell us what's on the crispy rice?
So here's got a crispy rice here that we use. We use a sushi rice, just deep fried, flash fried, a quick second, where it's crispy in the outside, kind of moist, still moist in the inside. We use a bluefin toro that goes on top of it, and top it off with a little bit of our house spicy tuna sauce, and then
I just kissed the tuna.
Yeah, I saw. It's on video. It's going to be on all of our socials.
Then with a little
This
bit
is
of a
what I
wasabi mayo, wasabi
mayo,
aioli,
some-
and then
That's
caviar.
black
Little
tobiko
caviar.
going there.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Here we go. I'm going in for the very soft. Oh, that's good.
I hope it's good the way you did whatever you just did.
I did a very dainty bite. I'm going in the rest. I'm just going to shove the rest of it in there. That's so good. I know a lot of people do crispy rice, but the little touch on top with all the elements and the black tanaka. What is that's actually
like
like
a tobiko, like almost like a you would say like a flying fish egg. So
Mhm.
there's different flavors. Obviously Japanese, they make different flavors. You can see here we have a yuzu one, a wasabi one over there. So
Now we got some beautiful sushi cuts here. What do we have?
So this is a belly cut here. We did everything a belly cut. So you got the bluefin belly cut. You got the salmon belly. You got yellowtail belly. And then you also got a chutoro belly, which is pretty much just gonna melt in your mouth.
This is all on the dinner menu, right? This
Yeah,
is
so these
belly
are on
platter.
the dinner menu. But you can also order for lunch if you want.
Yeah, you could always go rogue.
If the
and,
company's paying for it, guys,
yeah,
bring it in. Let's go.
Well, I don't have time to sit here and eat all of them. I'm just going to go right into the.
Come for the best one.
and I'm going right in with my fingers. Is it rude? Again, some people say that true sushi is meant to be eaten
It's
with
meant to
fingers.
eat with your fingers.
Yeah. One bite.
That's why you don't notice back in the day, like in the sushi restaurant, they would give you a hot towel first, this, that, and then just use your hand,
And
Use
I'm
your
going to put a
fingers to go in there.
little pinch more. This looks like the real wasabi too. None of that.
So you got people like that, look at the chopstick is going
like
all
a
in.
wizard.
See?
Yeah,
I would
they
just
have
use
to-
your hand.
Shirley, if you watch this, I tried
can't-
with the chopsticks.
That
I
was
tried.
that
It's
was
meant
ridiculous.
for your hands. I tried. What do you want from me? My wife would yell at me for using my hands.
Don't watch him. Watch
You
me
need the kids' chopsticks. So we can bring that in for you.
with the rubber band.
Yeah, because when Phil comes in, he's like, Twan, give me a fork. I'm like, Phil, we
I
need to teach
can
you how to
use
use
You
your
weren't
chopstick.
kidding about that. That tutorial, unbelievable. Melt in your
That
mouth.
flavor was fantastic, though.
That is pristine, and it is so. Again, it's luscious. I use that word a lot because when you have something that has that nice fat content, it's a beautiful thing. Is Jay going to be able to make it, or is he busy in the kitchen?
I think he's probably busy in the kitchen.
All right, that's all
but
right.
he's gonna, make more stuff for us.
He's going to make more
nice.
stuff. All right. Well, in that case, we do have one more break to take. Believe it or not,
We
is
do.
that due? Is that true? Yes, it is true. Before we do that, put in the word about our friends at Tropical Acres. It's Tuesday, and it's a big, big Tuesday. Even though Mother's Day is come and gone, and they did over 1,000 covers, on Sunday at Tropical Acres. They just celebrated their 75th anniversary.
That's
I don't know if
fantastic.
you've ever been there, Twan, but it's a South Florida icon.
That's the one on
Griffin Road.
Griffin Road. Yes, I've been there. Yes,
Yeah.
I actually went there during pandemic. That's how I found out about them.
They had their butcher shop
They had their
open.
butcher shop open for everybody, and I was like,
They
oh,
still
this is cool.
they still do sell some of their nice cuts of the filet mignon at a butcher shop that's 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Dining room opens actually at bar happy hour 4:30 to 6:30. Half price drinks on everything, including their top shelf liquors. I get my Belvedere martinis there for $8. It's ridiculous. And then you go into the dining room for a full dinner. Tonight's half price wine night, and now they've started up their summer twin lobster special. 2 Maine lobsters, boiled fresh with salad and side dish for $39. Same price as last year. You can't complain about the inflation there. It is a great deal. You go in with a friend or a partner and just have your little bit of prime rib or filet mignon with the twin lobster special, and you get a half price bottle of wine tonight. You could have Surf and Turf Premium for $100 for 2 people, $50 each. That's crazy good value. Great service. We love Tropical Acres, 2500 Griffin Road. Go online, tropicalacres.com for all the latest information and updates, and tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
I'm sorry, Quee. I dropped the sushi. Yes. Thank
It was
you.
pathetic.
He's like, it was soft. The rice is, you did it with your hands. That was smart. I was trying to be polite, and
I'll
I
show you
ended up
how it's
making,
done.
I ended up making a mess.
Yeah, you got
So
it. That's it. Boom,
You're a
like
pro.
that.
What do you want from me?
Like that.
I'm usually pretty solid. Whenever I've been at Kaizen, I fell off my game here at MISO Japanese Tapas.
Don't be nervous.
They never fall off their game. You won't fall off your game if you're these bites. No better place than right here, MISO Japanese Tapas. More to come of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox right here from MISO after this.
Prezzo Italian Restaurants, 2 locations, Boca Raton at Park Place on Military Trail and Palm Beach Gardens in the PGA Commons on PGA Boulevard. Contemporary Italian cuisine with house-made pastas, wood-fired pizzas, salads, veal, chicken, and of course their famous focaccia bread with oven-roasted garlic bulbs. In Garlic We Trust is their slogan, and you can trust Prezzo for a great experience with gracious service and tremendous value. Open 7 days, featuring brunch, lunch, dinner, and happy hour. Great wine deals and full bar at both locations. For reservations and more information, go to eatprezzo.com. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets, they've got eggs Benedict, they've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you.
All right, we're back. Food keeps magically appearing before my eyes. Lubie just had a
So
taste
that
of the uni
pasta
pasta.
was fantastic.
Yeah, now you know why I did that dance. I actually like almost fell out of my chair when he said he was able to procure the Japanese uni at this point. And what just hit the table here is a bright and colorful bowl of it looks like a salmon poke bowl.
Well, yeah, pretty
And this
standard.
is on
nice.
their lunch menu. And look how bright and colorful it is. And it just screams spring and summer and light, bright, healthy dining. See some edamame in there. I see some, it looks like red cabbage, cucumbers, again, chunks of beautiful marinated salmon over some rice. And again, this is the stuff that now you can find here on their lunch menu. Look, more stuff. Come on back here, Twan. Get on the headset.
This looks like a dumpling.
These look like
It's a very
the
interesting
is that the what is that? The
So that's
crab-
a special that we ran that
Okay.
we're running for this week. It's a lobster shumai.
Oh,
So
wow.
basically lobster,
shumai.
shiitake,
Wow.
and the broth is a carrot.
Look at this. Just when I think it can't get any better, it just keeps getting better.
So
and
that
better.
uni dish,
So-
by the way, I had for the first time. That was spectacular.
Did you eat the little gold bird on there
He
too?
gave no.
Okay.
He took
Oh,
the bird
I
out.
have the bird. Oh,
He
the
took
bird.
the
Is
bird
this
out.
edible?
He
This
wasn't
is
sure if it was
edible.
No, that's not
Lubie?
edible.
Huh?
Some guy actually ate that. It's not edible.
It's not edible.
This guy came in. He was a little. I think he was a little drunk, but he was super hungry. And he,
Oh well, it's a very pretty bird. It's like
I
flying.
sit
It's
there
like,
and I fold it.
origami.
it's like
Well,
the Thunderbirds. Yeah, it's
I
like
sit there and I fold every morning. I fold about 100 of those.
Oh wow,
Okay.
good for you.
But no, I don't do that.
I could see how.
Yeah,
So
that's what I
speaking
got.
of drinking, here you have sake. Is it beer, wine, sake?
beer, wine, sake. We did take some sakes and we made little sake cocktails with them.
Okay.
They're actually really
Oh
good.
my God, there's more. It keeps coming, Lubie. What's going to happen? We're
It's
gonna have to
get-
eat
we're
all
gonna
this?
eat a lot.
You're
I'm
gonna
trying
eat
to
all
be-
this.
I'm trying to.
Well,
Be,
my wife is always down for sushi,
All right,
so
'cause
whatever we don't eat.
I actually
don't wanna
got on
take-
the scale
my
this
wife will eat
morning
it.
because I've been eating a little bit more in the last week. You know, I'm on a health kick, Twan.
You got a bad doctor
doctor's
report,
office,
so he's,
doctor's orders. But I am down almost 10 pounds
Well, you're
since
doing
the
really
beginning.
well.
So,
Until we came here.
and again, well, this is nice and light.
It
Fish
actually
is
is,
healthy,
yeah.
all this stuff. Talk about this poke bowl a little bit.
So this is our poke bowl, the miso hungry here. It's basically salmon, fried shallots, cucumber, edamame, little scallion, pickled cabbage over rice. You can get over rice or you can get over salad or over greens if you like. So it all depends on what you want. Or you can kind of pick and choose what you like. And we run this for lunch around here. And like I said, it was one of the most selling products at Poke Lolo.
Yeah.
And
And where was Poke Lolo? It was
Poke Lolo was in Flagler Village too.
okay.
Other side of the tracks. We like to say the other side of the tracks.
Right.
So that's what everybody's using. Oh, what side of your tracks are you on over here? You know,
Guess this would be the north side of the tracks. There are no wrong side of the tracks,
no.
No.
especially when you got our friend Reno to the south, and we'll be slumming it over there on Thursday. We wish the Panthers well tonight. I hope they do better than
Yeah,
the
put 'em in a
Rangers
better
have
mood.
done trying to get their elimination game in the books. It's getting a little dicey. Reno,
Yeah, for your Rangers,
hopefully by Thursday, we'll have one of the conference finalists set in the Panthers, but we will see. The fried shallots, that looks fantastic. Gives a little
Gives
bit
a
of
nice little
crunch.
crunch to it.
And then some cucumbers. You know how I love things that have a proper
Crunch,
crunch.
crunch. Yep.
And all right, I'm going to be going to town in about a second. But first, I'm making the mess now. Sorry about that, Lubie. Sorry, Twan. And I'm going to go in for one of these shumais because this is beautiful.
That's really, it's amazing.
Yeah.
My chef Jay.
And a lobster shumai. Are you
a
kidding?
lobster shumai.
we
And,
try to do a lot of things.
and
with
what are they called?
seasons.
This is like the little red stringy things. Is like a radish or what is? I think
It's actually a little spice in there, so that's a fire.
Fire.
That's, not fire, but more of a
okay.
more like a little spice that goes into
Doesn't
it.
scare me. I'm gonna actually pour some of the juice on top of it. It's gonna get very messy, but that's good. That looks great. This looks like a great broth. This was a dinner special.
Yeah, it's a dinner special we were running for this week. Actually, I'm gonna get one of these too.
Oh wow, that's another fantastic bite. Excuse me while my face is stuffed with food, but
It's nothing new.
I'm gonna. I've got my goddaughter is visiting from Ohio. I think we're coming in tonight.
Honestly,
This is
and
so
I
good.
love Kui, and I need to get back out there with my wife out to Kaizen, but we love trying things for first and then circling back. And I'm going to have to bring her out. This is fantastic.
Well, I saw Kui last week and celebrated his 5th anniversary at Kaizen.
and I was in there with my daughter and Val's daughter. We had a nice feast, and it's time we kind of maybe pay Twan definitely a visit to check out some of these things, different styles. Again, more of the cooked bites here, along with the high end sushi. The belly platter is fantastic. I'm just going to keep chomping all day. Got a photographer that's looking at us like,
What is wrong with
like a
you?
little bit,
Like these guys are eating.
yeah, a little bit.
You guys don't work.
I don't know if it's with like longing and envy or just complete
I think it's
contempt of
disgusting.
like,
You're
oh
doing
my
it.
God, look at this. It's okay. You know what? We're going to be left to our own devices, but let me go out with, all right, I'll do one bite of the poke bowl. Again, this is on the new lunch menu. You need doing reasonable prices for lunch, right? That's
Yeah,
18.
18
50.
like 17, 18 bucks. You know, depends from that. You know, trying to keep it as low as possible. You know, like I say, everything now these days is so expensive.
Yep.
You know,
And I can't, I got to take the final bite is going to be the uni pasta. I'm trying to make it so that it's not the whole bite in one big clump, but we'll see what we can do here. Oh my God.
Twan's just like
it's making my mouth water here. The way my
it
skin
is.
is like.
It's making my stomach rumble.
I don't want to make this into like a sexual experience, but
I don't know.
He's bathing
It feels like it is when you eat.
I just want to hug myself after having that bite. Does anybody have a cigarette?
Oh Jesus!
All right, that's going to do it. Twan, exceptional stuff here.
Yeah, fantastic.
Congratulations on 1 year. I wish you 100 more.
Yeah.
And much success. We'll get people in here in the summertime. We're going to keep
Ladies'
singing
lunch
the
buses are
praises.
fantastic.
Again, Kaizen is open for lunch. If you're up in an office near there, north of Commercial Boulevard, I'm there, downtown, I'm here. Go on Uber Eats.
See,
Hey.
if my last name was Lamb on my Facebook, they would think him and I were brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, same last name.
Yep.
Well,
You might
I think
be
I'm the better
brothers.
looking one. I would say. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Queen. But just
No, you know what? Next time, Kui, I want to see you shirtless when you're cutting the sushi. Kaizen. This man has
just
already
your
done
apron only. Maybe him and I would do a collab together.
That would be cool.
That'd be
You know
pretty
what?
cool
That
to
would be
do.
super cool.
I would love to see that. We'll
That
call,
would be really cool.
call it the Silence of the Lambs.
That's actually really good.
That is really good.
Oh, man.
It's almost like he was in newspaper writing. or something.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just, you know what? Tingles are floating. I mean, I'm just in a place now that is so good.
Zen.
And that's without alcohol. You know, that's when you know you're in the hands of a talented chef.
That's what good food can do for you.
And that, man, I just love this. You know, Asian American Pacific Islander Month. And I used to play this game a lot with food writers, foodies, whatever. If you were limited to eating the food of one continent, which continent would it be? And my answer is usually Asia.
Yeah.
I would say, growing up eating all that too, but then it's always my to go to and comfort food. It's just like Asian food,
Yeah, because it's got the noodles and the pasta that you find in Italian and some European cuisine, but it's usually on the lighter side. There's not as many cheeses. There's a lot of protein and just kind of low fat items like the fish. It's just healthy and it leaves me invigorated and energized, and I could eat it all day. And in fact, I think I might do a marathon session. I might just stay here.
Maybe a lot of people
Have
come in
them
for
meet you.
lunch and they're like, Twan, after eating that poke bowl, I don't feel stuffed. I feel like I have more energy
No.
and I'm going
Yeah.
to work, like, because sometimes you eat too big a sandwich, you're sitting there like, oh,
You fill out of it. Yeah.
I just want to go home
That's
and just
it.
lay down for a second.
Pass out. Yep.
All good stuff. And you do have some bao buns on the menu.
Oh,
too,
you
We
for
do have
people
bao
who like
buns on
the-
there.
Oh,
My
That's-
chef Jay came up with we call it the BLT, with using soft shell crab and then adding our ingredients and our touch to it.
Oh,
And
jeez.
it's fire.
Yeah, a lot of people are into those bao buns.
My wife and
including
I
me.
love bao buns.
Oh
Well,
man, all
I-
good stuff. All right,
made
like
this,
I said,
well, you're gonna get. Well, they probably won't know, but you're gonna get this one of my favorite lunch dishes on there. So we do a lot of bowls. Is a grilled kimchi, which we make in house here over pork belly with the hoisin sauce in there,
Ooh.
and taking the kimchi and then grilling it.
That's a lunch special.
yeah. It's
is it a spicy kimchi?
It's a spicy kimchi.
Yeah. So
it's
obviously the fermented cabbage is the dish known in South Korea, but
Yeah.
it goes great with.
It was great. I
with
mean,
pork belly.
yeah, one of our chefs, her mom gave us the recipe, came down here, taught us how to make it, and she's from California.
Okay.
But in Florida, just saying how hot it is, we make that. Usually in California, it'll sit out for 3 days, 4 days outside.
Yeah.
But here, 24 hours ready to go.
It's
That's how
fermented,
hot
ready to go.
24 hours
That's
ready to go.
crazy.
I was like, oh, this is crazy.
I love the fermented vegetables. Lacto fermentation is where it's at.
And
Good
it's,
for your
and
gut.
it's good for your gut too.
Yeah.
You know,
Good for
'cause
your microbiome or whatever that is. I'm just
Just, yeah,
making up
I mean,
words now.
your whole life is all about your gut. You
It's
know,
all
if your gut's
good. It is.
happy, you're gonna live a happy
Oh
life.
man,
true.
we
You know?
went overtime, and that's okay because we don't get charged by the minute on the
Nope.
internet. Thank God. This was a fantastic array
This
of
was
food.
tremendous.
Again, miso Japanese tapas. Tuan is the man, along with Jay. And Amalia is her name?
Amelia.
Amelia, I'm sorry. You can find the three of them here every Tuesday through Sunday. Do you have brunch service in the works or not yet?
We've been talking about it. Jay and I have been talking about it. You know, we're gonna see how that goes. Like, you know, obviously I want to do the patio outside first before I even do anything else. But then, you know, brunch, we're
Summertime.
thinking about it, and
Yeah.
just want to come up with
One
something
thing
different.
at a time. We have the dinner. Now you added the lunch. And
Then we're
soon,
gonna do the
eventually,
omakase.
yep.
And then after that, then maybe we're throwing a brunch.
The man has a plan. All right, it's all good here. 815 Northeast 2nd Avenue in the Progresso neighborhood here of Fort Lauderdale. Come check it out. For Mike Lubie Lubitz, Tuan Lamb,
Thank you for
this
having me.
is Mike Mayo. I'm going to be eating here for the next hour. You could catch me all
We'll
night.
be here.
Thanks again, everybody. Enjoy every sushi bite. Enjoy every crispy rice. Enjoy every poke bowl, uni pasta, and enjoy every sandwich.